Okay, problem solving, developing strategies. So, to be able to develop strategies, you need to have a problem. Okay, and that could be one that you've made yourself, developed it yourself, or it could be one you get from somewhere else. Today, for this example, we're going to use the problem of overfishing. Okay, overfishing our world's oceans and depleting the natural resources of food from the sea. We're going to watch a short YouTube clip shortly explaining that. Then to develop our strategies of how we can resolve the problem, we're going to use this rubric here as a guide. Key parts in here around multi-structural and relational, identifying three strategies or more, and describing them in detail. So that's writing what the strategy is and then saying what you mean about it. And then including a description of how you would specifically resolve the impacts of the problem. Okay, what would implementing the strategy actually do? What part would it solve? Okay, so as we watch this video, keep in mind, try and brainstorm some ideas of how you might solve, some different ideas of how you might solve this.
This is the ocean, just as God intended for it to be, abundantly full of life and reusable natural resources. Overfishing is the non-sustainable use of the ocean's resources, which will eventually lead to the degradation of the entire system. Fisheries all over the world are guilty of fishing so much that the fish cannot sustain their own population. Sharks and sea turtles often wind up as dead bycatch as a result of overfishing. Big ships used for fishing have also caused extensive damage to our coral reefs from nets dragging on the ocean floor. More than 5 billion people depend on the ocean as their primary source of food, and within 20 years, this number could double. What are we headed for? We must keep the oceans as abundant as God intended. Let's stop overfishing.
Okay, so overfishing. If you haven't thought of any strategies yet, pause this now and come up with in your head or write down on a bit of paper 3 strategies. Do that now. Okay, got your strategies. Let's have a look at the ones I came up with and what developing strategies might look like as work. So I'm going to do this in a Word document because I find that an easy way to explain all the important information to get across. There are lots of different ways you could do this though. Okay. The important part is to get the same information across. So, like with everything, you need to have your class name and task title. I've called this overfishing strategies. Makes sense. Strategy number 1, create massive marine reserves all over the world. Okay, so that's my strategy. Now, if we just skip back to the problem solving rubric, that's a basic strategy. Okay, That's it. I haven't provided any detail, it's just a real basic idea. So that's only one. So if I had 2 of those, I'd be at unistructural. So I create massive marine reserves all over the world. To get to the next level, I need to describe them in detail. So let's have a look at what describing this might look like. So in detail, okay, take a moment to read that. Pause it if you need to. Okay. So see how I've explained that fishing in these areas will be useful for repopulating the area by giving you a chance for fish to respawn. Okay, providing more detail is what I mean. So that's one strategy at this level, multi-structural. For that strategy to be at relational level, I'd have to talk about how that specifically solves impact of the problem. So let's have a look at that. Resolving the impact. There we go. Okay, pause this, have a read. Okay, so that explains how this strategy would address the problems of overfishing. Now, here's a couple I prepared earlier. So here's my strategies 2 and 3. So I've got 3 strategies there, 1, 2, 3, with detailed resolving impact for each of them. Okay, so pause this, have a read through there. These are the sort of answers that are appropriate for getting a relational level thinking and developing your strategies. Okay. Now, you could communicate this information in lots of different ways. You could do a video reflection, do it verbally. You could annotate do pictures with annotations, explaining your pictures to help support your thinking. You could use pictures from the internet to support what you're saying. The key is explaining what you're doing. Okay, making sure that it's really clear that you've got this information in your assignment. If you have any questions, email me or leave a comment at the bottom.